that I step down temporarily. Ron has seconded, and Larry Bates.
Motion's been properly made and seconded that Carol step down temporarily. Are there any discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carries.
Thank you. At least that'll keep me clear and maybe out of trouble. I have been bothered all weekend by this. I don't like the idea of taking this lowest bidder, and I don't know him, but I know that we have men in Lincoln County that need a job to feed their children, and it's our children that's going to be going to these schools over here. Their dads need a job. I had talked to someone from BBL Carlton this morning, and about he is the next on the list, and it's not that I would prefer him to have it, it was that I just wanted some information, and he explained to me the buildings that they have done and in the past and that they've worked on. He's actually working a lot in Point Pleasant right now. They did the Hannah High School in Wahama, and I visited Hannah High School whenever they oh, thank you. I'm going to stop right now. Larry, did you ask for a moment of silence, please?
We're going to pause for just a couple moments for silence and remembrance of the miners that had the accident, and this was asked by the governor, so if you will, let's take a couple moments of silence, please. Thank you. Ms. Smith, would you continue?
With this BB in Carlton, I spoke to Keith McClanahan. He's the senior vice president of that company. And he explained to me that he hired local men. He is 100% union. And that he's worked on Glenville College, University of Charleston, and he told me I could also call the County Commissioner, Kent Carpenter, of Kanawha County, and he said that he would give them a good recommendation. He explained to me that they are financially well off, and that if we got behind on our payments, that they would go right on working and wait on the money. He said, we don't need it like right now. He said, we won't be hounding you for money. And he said, we've done that before. We've built the building and you pay when you can. And like I say, I'm not just saying this company, but he is the next one down. He is willing to cut his budget, and I don't even know that this is legal, but I asked him if there was any way he could help us out, because we're $750,000 in the hole that we were going to have to come up with ourselves. And I asked him if there was any way that his company could help us with that. And he said, absolutely. He said, what we would do is bring all these contractors in that are going to do different parts of the building. And you guys know more about that than what I do, and so you know what I'm talking about, even if I don't say it correctly. And he said I would tell them and that we are in need of cutting this budget. And he said each contracting group would cut where they could. And he said we will not cut the quality, but that they could get that $750,000 down. He said, he didn't tell me how much, but whatever he could do, if he could go half, that would be great. I'm just asking that we consider going to the next bidder, someone that is union, and we have had several complaints about the company that we're about to choose here, and I don't feel like that we've had a proper time to check all these complaints out and get answers for them. And I would just ask that we consider going to the next bidder. I've been told that there's a possibility that these people can turn around and sue us. That is my biggest concern. I hadn't heard that until just this morning. I feel like one of these guys said blackmail, and that's exactly what it is. It's blackmail on us. And so, just for information for the rest of the board, I wanted to let you know that they will help us with that $750,000. And that's all I have to say.
Do I have a motion to turn the meeting back over to Ms. Smith?
I do.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Properly moved and second that we turn the meeting back over to President Ms. Smith. All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Motion carries.
Now we have Mr. Ferguson, and I hope you can answer some of the questions that we have and some of the concerns.
I'll try to. I know the superintendent spoke with the SBA as well this week, and as I have in this past week. And basically, they checked out Radford and Radford's qualification statement with the state of West Virginia purchasing. And they are in good standing according to the SBA and state purchasing with all of their requirements. So the SBA, according to all their rules and regulations with the way they would award projects, would award this project to Radford because they're the lowest qualified bidder that meets all their recommendations set forth by state purchasing and all the questions and the forms that they have to submit to the state board, the state of West Virginia. According to my records or my bid tabulation sheet, Radford was the lowest bidder at $5,955,000. The second bidder was EP Leach at $6.690, and then the next bidder was City Construction Company out of Clarksburg. Those are your bottom three. BBL Carlton was number 4. They were at $6.7 million.
Could you repeat those, please?
Sure. Radford and Radford was $5,955,000, and then the second bidder was EP Leach at $6,690,000, and then the third bidder was City Construction Company out of Clarksburg, and EP Leach is out of Huntington. City Construction Company out of Clarksburg at $6,694,103.
And then Carlton was,
BBL Carlton was at $6.7 million.
I have to ask.
And you had 11 bidders. We had 11 bidders, and they were all what I want to call reasonable bids. You have one typically when you bid something this size, you've got a low bid, a high bid, and everybody else is sort of real close in between. And that was the case here. Radford and Radford was $750,000 below the next bidder. That's where the issue is. If you go to the next bidder, the SBA is saying you pretty much have to come up with the justification, and you have to come up with the additional money because they feel they supplied enough money on this job to where the lowest qualified bidder has built schools for them before, and they haven't any issues with them. They just finished a school in Fayette County, which is a nice school. There are no issues with it. There was no issues during construction. They did it on time, on budget,